The Republican Party's been trying to make, a scandal out of Joe Biden for a while, and they keep failing because Joe Biden is actually pretty clean and above board, especially for somebody who's been in politics since the Paleolithic era. Failing that, they've turned to his well-endowed son, Hunter Biden, whose, proportions Marjorie Taylor Greene has been very excited to remind everyone of. And while holding a House hearing on Hunter Biden, the man himself showed up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
All right. I was hoping this would just be raw footage. I tried looking around for raw footage and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to try the Fox News link that I had.
This now, Hunter Biden is on Capitol Hill, and so far as I know, Dana, this was not planned.
No, why is David Spunt in Los Angeles? I'm confused.
So 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here, and
what was that? What was that? Wait, what? Why can't I just get footage of stuff happening in the Capitol building?
Los Angeles.
You see that?
I'm confused.
So 2 weeks ago.
What is this? What are you? This is a professional outfit. What are you doing? Look. Hunter Biden crashed his own hearing. He wasn't meant to be there. They were talking shit. He wanted to show up. He rolled up. Hunter Biden heard they were talking shit and rolled up, is what he did. You probably need C-SPAN, then go find it.
We were sitting here, and we'll re-rack it for you, and goes to the Senate.
Official leaks would prevent selective leaks, manipulated transcripts, doctored exhibits, or one-sided press statements, especially in light of the committee's past use of closed-door sessions to manipulate,
this guy looks like shit. Yes, he does.
Mr. Chairman,
misinform the public.
I have an inquiry.
State your point.
Mr. Chairman, don't we have House rules and committee rules regarding subpoenas and then rules about having hearings and having questions with witnesses that must be followed?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reclaim my time.
State the rules, Mr. Chairman.
I've been given a C-SPAN link. The problem, of course, with this C-SPAN link is that it is 3 hours long, and I do not know when it starts. Aaron Rupar has at least the clip of Hunter entering. Thank you, Aaron Rupar. Much appreciated. Hunter Biden is taking a break from his presidential campaign to appear at the Capitol.
To appear. So he's choosing
Hunter
to be there. I want to bring in former Assistant Manhattan District Attorney Catherine Christian and federal and white-collar criminal defense attorney Caroline Polisi as we continue to watch these images. It appears his attorney, Abby Lowell, is right there alongside him, ladies. Catherine, what do you think his strategy is here, showing up during these hearings as they contemplate a contempt of Congress vote?
I think it's brilliant, by the way. So again, they keep trying to make a big thing of Hunter Biden, his financial associations. Despite years of investigation, no evidence has been found of any wrongdoing that implicates Joe Biden. Has Hunter Biden committed crimes? Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. But they've been talking about holding him in contempt for not showing up at previous attempts to bring him to Congress for testimony. So during this meeting about holding him in contempt for not showing up, he showed up.
I think it's his way of saying, I will testify. I've always said I will testify. I'm not going to do it in secret. I'm going to do it in public.
Remember? We talked about this before. They go on and on and on about how they want Hunter Biden to show up to testify, but the GOP said they want it to be done in secret. Hunter Biden said he wants it to be done publicly, and they refused. He openly said, I will show up, I will talk, but I'm not doing it privately. Now, the reason the GOP did not want to talk with him or hear his testimony publicly is because they have nothing on him, and it's all a gigantic waste of time. They also know that Hunter Biden, let's be real here, is a 6'8" giga chad with a fat cock, and they know they'll be showed up by him. He'll height mog them on sight. He doesn't play around. They're worried. They don't want to be caught in on that. So they wanted it to be behind closed doors, and he didn't show up. So now they were like, oh, well, since he didn't show up to our private, request for testimony, holding him in contempt, so he just shows up in public.
So that, to me, is his statement that he's making today. He has always said he will testify. He just doesn't want to do it in secret. So it's really hard to argue that he's in contempt because he refused to testify. It's just the forum, secret or in public for everyone to see it.
And that's what his attorneys have argued all along, is he's not defying a subpoena. He's just trying to make sure whatever he said in its full context is before the American public to hear, so that his fear was that the committee members, Republicans, would kind of splice and dice whatever he said behind closed doors and put out partial transcripts that would misconstrue the context. If you were advising Hunter Biden right now, Caroline, what would your advice be?
Well, I think that ship has sort of sailed at this point in terms of, you can't go back in time. Abby Lowell, as we see there, incredibly well-respected criminal defense attorney. He knows what he's doing. We've seen this movie before. You will recall that during the January 6th committee congressional hearings.
Showing up, by the way. Hello.
There were many referrals.
Looking good. All right, so at what point does this Fox News clip pick up on his arrival?
Hold on. Do any other members wish to be heard?
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman, I did endure multiple interruptions in my opening. Could I finish? Would that be all right?
Well, you went over your 5 minutes, but I'll give you 30 more seconds.
Okay. The chairman refused to take yes for an answer from Hunter Biden. Instead, on December 1, they pulled a bait and switch. They changed the terms of their request. They rejected his offer or his acceptance of their offer and insisted that he now come in and sit for a secret
This guy's good, by the way.
deposition.
People in chat.
On December 6th, Hunter Biden's lawyer reiterated that Hunter Biden was willing to accept the chair's original request and once again offered to appear on December 13th or any other date in December to answer any question pertinent and relevant to the subject matter. He again raised concerns about closed-door sessions. That's what brings us to today, Mr. Chairman. He has materially, substantially, in good faith, complied with what your requests were.
He complied with the subpoena.
We would have
expired.
We would have loved that.
Do any other members wish to be heard? Chair recognizes Ms. Mace from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Comer. First of all, my first question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
She's literally saying you have no balls showing up here publicly to testify. You should have instead testified privately.
Mr. Chairman,
if
the ladies recognize.
If the gentlelady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on. Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Could you keep interrupting me?
I'll interrupt the chairman. I don't know that he's a lady.
I think that that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of law.
If liberals lose the 2024 election, when all Republicans have is being freaks about Hunter Biden and 5 million anti-trans bills, then that's on the liberals. I'm sorry. This is so pathetic from them.
Come on.
And the premise that the law applies equally to everyone, no matter what your last...
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Biggs over here.
Donald Trump Jr.
Biggs over here.
State your point, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, my point of order is this. Are we going to continue on with this blatant interruption? This is absurd and inappropriate. I intend to give my statement. I don't intend to have anybody interrupted. I'm not going to interrupt your statements. I think you should have decorum and courtesy and don't act like a bunch of nimrods.
You just interrupted a woman.
And that's five.
He wanted to say another word, but he cut himself off there.
Permission.
Can we agree everyone has
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes? Can we agree?
Point of order again. The assertion that I interrupted was absolutely false. That's typical of the gentleman who spoke it. I got permission to speak from the chairman. I spoke. I was interrupted yet again by the gentleman who doesn't choose to go through the chair and follow proper order. I encourage us. I think if we're going to have any respect at all, we need to have proper decorum.
Well said. Well said.
I'd like to finish.
The rules are everyone's going to be.
This was such a good move, dude. This entire committee is just about Republicans whining about a problem they caused by not allowing Hunter Biden to testify publicly. And by him showing up, all they can really do is bluster and go, "How dare you, sir," at him being there like they asked. The point of this meeting is that he won't show up to the meetings, and he's right there. They could have him testify right now. Nothing's stopping them. There's no procedure that keeps him from doing that.
Recognized for 5 minutes. Anyone that wants to be recognized will be recognized for 5 minutes. Ms. Mace has 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Chair recognizes Ms. Mace.
It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or who your father is, or your last name. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hunter Biden, as I'm speaking to you. You are not above the law at all. The facts in this case are crystal clear. This committee used and issued a lawful subpoena to Hunter Biden, a critical witness in this committee's investigation into Biden family corruption. Hunter Biden and his lawyers did not claim privilege of any kind because clearly he has none. They didn't contest the legitimacy of our reasons for issuing this subpoena, no reasons, because they clearly are legitimate. And yet he refused to comply. Trump's family members, Don Trump Jr., he did not defy a congressional subpoena. He showed up multiple times for multiple depositions for several hours. In doing so, Hunter Biden broke the law. He did so deliberately. You did so flagrantly. You showed up on the Hill, on the Senate side, the day of that congressional subpoena to defy it and spit in the face of this committee. That's what you did. The question the American people are asking us is, what is Hunter Biden so afraid of?
The question the American people are asking is, what does Hunter Biden's fat cock look like? By the way, here really quickly, just so we can be reminded of the general character of the of this House meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
real quick,
I ask unanimous consent to enter information for the record.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has a big white foam board image she'd like to show the class.
What's the information?
Oh, my God.
State the information.
Thank you.
I reserve the right to object. The minority has not provided a copy of the material for the record. In the past, she's displayed pornography. Is pornography allowed to be, are pornographic photos allowed to be displayed in this committee room, Mr. Chairman?
It's not pornography.
Okay, well, you're the expert.
I'm not an expert, Mr. Raskin.
Seems like it.
Mr. Chairman, I object to the unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
Hold on.
All you need is one objection.
We need decorum. I'm gonna let the lady state, and then if you object still, we'll go from there.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that's the clip. Of course, it wasn't actually photos of Hunter Biden's gigantic fat. I'm sorry, it was.
And it's marked
Mr.
out.
Chairman, point of parliamentary.
It was. Yep.
Showing.
It was.
proof.
Yep. The American people demand to know: is this censor bar as large as it needs to be? Not a joke. Yep. Yep, it's real. That's what she brought up.
Violations. Democrats should not be offended by pictures that black out.
Hunter Biden says he has nothing to hide, yet clearly he's hiding something quite girthy from the people in this room.
They should be offended by
point of parliamentary
human
inquiry.
trafficking.
Mr. Chairman, state your point.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. On July 26th, I sent you a letter about the last time this happened when
it was supposed to be a meme. Nope, it's not a meme. It's real. This is all real. This is happening. It's real. Are you allowed to show that? It was shown in Congress. I'm sorry. It's on news. It's on news.org videos. What can I do? This is beyond me. I'm sorry. It's congressional material, The
gentlelady introduced before this committee without any notice to anyone.
This is the sixth time that Marjorie Taylor Greene has brought. What's that like Jimmy Neutron, Mrs. Kerbopple meme? Here's a picture of Hunter Biden's fat cock. Marjorie, that's the seventh time you've brought Hunter Biden's fat cock.
Photos, pornographic images that were completely irrelevant to the purpose of the hearing itself. And my question to you is, are members allowed to simply put up sensationalistic, voyeuristic, pornographic images if they're not relevant to the actual object of the legislative proceeding.
American fascism is trans people being banned from public because if a minor sees them, that's pedophilia. But also holding up pictures of like Coke Lord's fat dong to Congress so every American can see it.
I want a parliamentary ruling on that.
Mr. Askin, that's probably part of the questioning for...
What did Marjorie Taylor do with the pictures afterwards? I don't know, but she seems to be talking with her female coworker. Like she's look, like, are they just like, yeah, look, like they're pointing at it like, hey, what are you doing?
For Mr. Biden, violations of the Mann Act. Ms. Green's led on that issue.
No, this is
these
question of the rules of the committee.
These pictures have already been entered into the record.
Find you a girl who looks at you the way Marjorie Taylor Greene looks at cobbled together Pinterest board tier images of Hunter Biden's cock.
So in other words, you have accepted the idea that members can introduce irrelevant, sexually based,
how is this irrelevant?
Well, how are these nude photos of Hunter Biden irrelevant to a hearing on alleged misconduct, not attending of a requested testimony? It was subpoenaed. How is this not irrelevant? Pointing at, you know, just the hog.
Well,
how does it relate to Joe Biden?
How does it relate to?
We're not doing a criminal investigation of Hunter Biden.
We've
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
Testified in the FBI.
This is what I mean when I say Democrats need to be better at making fun of people, because if there was a rowdy Democrat in here, they would be they would be running circles here. Like, can you explain how Marjorie Taylor Greene's obsession with naked Hunter Biden is relevant to a hearing on his subpoena? You know, like it completely, it's subpoena, not subpoenas. You know, just absolutely rip into them. You could get headlines for shit like that, you know, for sure. God willing, you know. By the way, there's so much more funny shit. Like, we're not even remotely done.
Don't you show up for a congressional deposition? You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth. Hunter Biden wasn't afraid to sell access to Joe Biden to the highest bidder when he was in elected office. He wasn't afraid to trade on the Biden brand, peddle influence, and share those ill-gotten gains with members of his family, including Joe Biden. He wasn't afraid to compromise the integrity of the presidency and vice presidency by involving Joe Biden in shady business deals with our foreign adversaries. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition. And you still can't today.
He's right there. Wait, what? He's right there. Wait, this is like laying on your back on the ground with a bloody nose going, "Oh, you pussy, you're afraid to punch me?" Like with a giant fist crater in your face. What are you talking about? Again, this is who liberals are losing to in the polls. I just, like, holy shit. It's like the GOP aren't even people. They're like a force of nature. It's like a electromagnetic retard wave that you just have to deal with it. Oh my God.
I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now, because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power.
She's a demon. Look at her eyes. You can tell she's not a human being from the way she looks. Yeah.
A congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refused to comply with a congressional subpoena.
Wait, I know this woman. She's evil as shit. She eliminated her civil rights committee.
As the former ranking member, I want to say, number one, as the former ranking member of the Civil Rights Subcommittee under Chairman Raskin last session, I take great pride as a white female Republican to address the inadequacies in our country. I come from a district where rich and poor is literally black and white, black versus white on most days.
It was a very beautiful speech by the gentlelady,
I know her.
who, as she mentioned, was helped lead on the now majority side, the Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Subcommittee. But I think it's so exemplary of the point that she also oversaw the elimination of the Civil Rights Subcommittee on this committee, which really kind of gives the whole game away. We show up, we give speeches, we give flowery words, but at the end of the day, participate in the structural erosion of the rights and representation of people that are marginalized, women, people of color, people that just need to see their due process and civil liberties protected in this country. But I will move on.
Excellent. Oh my God, she was the Scarlet Letter A bitch too. Yeah, this woman is like a main character, dude. She's like a Lol cow. When they were trying to get a House Majority Leader and she voted to oust McCarthy, she put an A on her shirt for adulterer. But I guess here it means the letter A. Red letter A to symbolize being demonized for her decision. Did anyone ask her if she knew what the A... I don't know if she knew. She might not have known. Is she an adulterer then? Well, probably. I don't know.
Accountable. And I stood with each and every one of you. I am the only member in this room today who has held a member of my own party in contempt of Congress for not showing up for a subpoena. And I see nothing but complete hypocrisy on the other side of the aisle. The ranking member of this committee, even so eloquently...
I feel like this is the kind of woman where there's nothing you could say to her, like criticizing her behavior that would affect her. But if you like pulled her aside one day and said that she looked kind of ugly on TV, like after a meeting or something, I feel like it would destroy her for the rest of her life. I don't know. I feel like there's a very limited number of things this woman cares about. I think that Democrats should call Republicans ugly more. You know, but like quietly and like be really mean too. Wait, that's mean though? Yeah, that's true.
You put it. The lesson is, please tell your children out there in America, if you get a subpoena to go before Congress, go. You have a legal responsibility to do so. So the hypocrisy is stunning. What are we to tell our children today? There's nothing the other side can say with a straight face. As the only member of this committee to vote to hold a
and voted to hold in contempt the Republican members of the House who blatantly and categorically refused to comply with subpoenas that came from the bipartisan January 6th committee.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I have a clip for that.
Simple question. The question you have been asked multiple times, which is, do you have evidence to impeach the President of the United States? Before you said...
Oh, I'm sorry. Earlier, somebody asked if she's an adulterer. Okay, thank you for the link. Yeah. Apparently, she recently divorced or split with her fiance, and like weirdly talked about her sex life with her coworkers in her office. Frequently made sexual references in the office and discussed things not appropriate in a work environment. Yeah, people like this are always like holistically evil. Again, this is why I say I hate the Thanos shit where it's like, oh, the person's evil, but they like secretly love their family. No. Usually evil people don't love anything. They don't love their families or anyone. They feel utter contempt for life and everything in it. It's usually just themselves they care about, especially like the narcissistic types. It's just not that complicated. They're just like, they're barely people, you know?
I hope so.
Functionally
Today
sentient.
You said, I think so. And the answer is you don't. And you still don't. And so we continue to be here and have these charades. To my colleagues who talk about lawful subpoenas, I appreciate the gentleladies.
I figured she seemed insecure given the white privilege accusations. No, she doesn't believe them. We saw the clip with AOC where she was bragging about like being woke and like leading the like civil rights committee, but she actually tore it apart. She disingenuously and knowingly dishonestly pretends to care about racial issues. She doesn't care. She probably, like, I don't know, like finds black homeless people and like makes them run and then hunts them in the streets at 3 a.m. You know, like I don't know what she's onto in her daily life. She does not care, but she disingenuously weaponizes that rhetoric. You know, like, you know, when Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks when he does the like fake progressive thing because he's trying to have sex with and kill that one like yuppie artist lady. Like that's the kind of people we're talking about here. Okay.
From South Carolina who voted to hold people in contempt. Listen, I'll make this bipartisan. I'll vote for the Hunter contempt today. You can get my vote. You can get my vote. But I want you to show the American people that you're serious. Here is the subpoena to Representative Scott Perry, who did not comply. I'd like to enter this into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mark Meadows. I'd like to enter this into the record, who did not comply. Here is the subpoena to Jim Jordan, who did not comply with a lawful subpoena. I'd like to enter that into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mo Brooks, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mr. Biggs, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record. And here's the subpoena to Mr. McCarthy, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record. There's an amendment coming to add some of those names into the contempt order. You vote to add those names and show the American people that we apply the law equally, not just when it's Democrats, right? It's a crime when it's Democrats, but
Hunter Biden isn't even a Democrat. He's a private citizen. That's the crazy thing. All the people he just listed were like associates with January 6th, like Republican officials. Hunter Biden is literally just a guy.
When it's Trump and the Republicans, it's just fine. No, show that you're serious and that everyone is not above the law. Vote for that amendment, and I'll vote for the Hunter Biden contempt.
Good shit. Dude, there's so many good clips from this. Oh my God.
Have y'all seen the report that was just produced where this chairman decided that he was going to block this committee from receiving additional information about y'all's guy, Trump, and all the money that he took? From what we did receive, we know that Trump got almost $6 million that we can account for, and we know that there's more there. From China specifically, we found almost $8 million total that he accepted from foreign governments while he was serving as the president of these United States. But we're concerned about the president's son who has not been involved in his administration. I just want to run it back, though, to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. You see, you want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time that y'all have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules. And right now what you want to do is have two separate sets of rules because Mr. Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them in contempt. But for some reason,
the real red pill to being like a leftist, or at least somebody who's taking the progressive game seriously, is to know that no matter what she says, no matter how eloquently she delivers her points or how effectively she applies her rhetoric, a lot of Republican voters watching this will just see her and see a dumb black woman, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like real giga-brain red-pilled knowledge is knowing that like the rhetoric has a place, and there's like a wall where it stops, and past that point, you know, it's like greater action has to be taken. One of the most damaging conceits of liberalism is the idea that like on a fundamental level, everyone kind of already agrees with you. You ever see liberals talk like that? Like liberals will act like fascism from the perspective of a fascist is like a defect in their thinking. Like there's some fact they've gotten wrong, or there's like something you could point out to them and they'd be like, oh, and then like they'd be fixed or whatever, because liberals assume the ethical systems that they operate on are the ones everyone does. And, you know, very much the case with racism. Everything she's saying here, completely correct, obviously, but it's like past a point, it's like that's dealing with the rot, right? I mean, that's cutting it under, is understanding that it can't begin and end with that, you know? We can fix them though for yeah. It's totally possible to like fix people or whatever. I'm just saying that, you know, your model of political engagement opens up a little bit when you no longer believe that like an excellently worded speech is capable of reaching the heart of an entire nation, I guess I should say.
It makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans.
True.
I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So, to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, it's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about—
I've seen some of the most insane racist anchor videos in response to her speaking Congress. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Like to a lot of to a lot of conservatives, all they can say in response to this is literally just pointing at her and going like, "Dumb black woman." Like that's it. That's literally like all they have. That's fascism is a low IQ ideology.
how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running. At that time, y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
True. She's going to go viral as shit off this. Doing pretty well so far from what I saw on Twitter earlier. There's so much good shit from this man.
Here, the witness accepted the chairman's invitation. It just so happens the witness is here. If the committee...
Oh, I actually think that's another example, by the way, of how disconnected Republicans are from their leadership, from their electorate, you know? How often do you see Republican politicians go viral in a way that's positive for them? In my experience, it's almost never. You'll see Republican news hosts in their own little bubbles go viral for stuff they say, and Donald Trump occasionally does on his own. But Republican congressmen and senators, almost never. And usually that's because they constantly come across like gigantic tards whenever they do talk. Like a lot of them are very like inept, low charisma. They're inhuman, they're reptile people, and they don't come across like, you know, every time they get their attention, like it's almost always in a negative context. Like, to put it this way, how many times has Marjorie Taylor Greene gone viral in a way that made her look good, generally speaking? Never, never. It never happens. I think it is a testament to a positive attitude. I guess there is so a rare word of positivity for the Democrats. Democratic legislators seem to mostly be human beings and are capable of their own volition going viral and getting attention in ways that make them look good. You know, you will relatively often see a Democrat congressman, senator, even a local representative, like what happened in Tennessee, do well publicly, but it never happens for Republicans because they're demons like top down. And it's just, that, by the way, guys, that's the reason why they're all leaning on Trump so hard. Trump is the only person they have who has the, I guess, attitude, energy, and charisma to present themselves in a way that gets attention that's not exclusively negative. He has a kind of riz. Ron DeSantis can't do it. Chris Christie dropped out. Nikki Haley can't do it, you know. Vivek Ramaswamy can't do it outside of his own bubble, and even then he's only there because Trump's not at the debates. People don't remember how bad Republicans were doing in 2015 before Trump. Yeah, no, it's like their guy, you know? Trump comes across as human. Yeah, I know it sounds reductive, and obviously Trump is a horrible piece of shit, but he does come across as human. He seems to, you know, God forgive me for the compliment, actually take joy in life and does things that I can relate to as a human being. His goofs, his gaffes, his wacky behavior, the way he goes up there on stage and makes jokes. He's petty and mean in a lot of ways, you know? Like, I look at that and I think he's not a good person, but he is a person. But then you look at the way Republicans talk on, like, you know, in Congress, their representatives, and they're freaks. Like, it's like they've forgotten how to be people. They've gotten so used to lying that they don't know how to deliver information in a way that doesn't come across as off-putting anymore. You know? Trump is way more relatable than Elon Musk too. Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Elon Musk, massive demon, you know? I don't call Donald Trump a demon, do I? Donald Trump is a horrible person, but he just doesn't have that demonic energy. He comes across as a person. He's not like a lizard person like Elon is.
Wants to hear from the witness, and the chairman gave the witness that option, then the only folks that are afraid to hear from the witness with the American people watching are my friends on the other side of the aisle. I don't know if there's a proper motion, Mr. Chairman, but I'll make a motion. Let's vote. Let's take a vote. Who wants to hear from Hunter right now, today? Anyone? Come on. Who wants to hear from Hunter?
Motion's out of order. Yeah.
No one. So I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
And the visual is clear.
I like
Nobody
this
over
guy.
there wants to hear from the witness. Oh, there's one. Thank you.
Will you yield for a question?
I'm not there yet, but I will eventually. So there's no one, well, other than one or two, that want to hear from the witness. So the majority of my colleagues over there, including the chairman, don't want to hear from the witness with the American people watching. So
I was hoping that would continue a little bit further.
the witness.
Well, that's just you looping. That's the problem with clips, I suppose, but the full thing goes on for so damn long. Actually, we can probably find this off the C-SPAN video because it says right here 1023. Hold on. Can I get the... Here we go. 1023. Do they have a clock? Do they keep
my
time?
friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power.
You don't keep time? Why not? Why wouldn't you? You're so annoying. Why?
Law. Vote for that amendment, and I'll vote for the Hunter Biden contempt.
So that's at the end of him presenting the subpoenas that Republicans didn't follow through on. They have a built-in transcript. Not enough. They abolished it? Yeah.
I've earned, in quotes, $3.5 million from Yelena Baturina, who was married to a corrupt oligarch who used to be the mayor of Moscow.
Yeah, they waffle for a bit. Let me get to the kickers here, all right? We got a kick.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
You're afraid. I have several more billboards of your genitalia that I am prepared to show. I have the American people will know about your girthy hog.
Oh. I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble.
He leaves. I think that Hunter Biden played this perfectly, by the way. Hunter Biden, so wait, and this is right before she shows off his cock, right? This would have been right before it, wouldn't it? So she went up there to show off his cock. Let me see if I can get that. We need more cock research. Hold on. So that would have been
Biggs for 5 minutes. Same
States
unclear
before she took.
And he
question.
supported you.
Chairman powers her tech you get explanation.
Where is she? Why don't they keep the time?
On the January,
Show the American
President of the Republicans, of my words.
There it is.
I'd like to enter that into the record. There's an amendment coming to add some of those names in the query attempt.
Oh. I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women because he can't.
Okay, where does the cock come out?
My of the United States turned to America. He blew it through and
hugging high few room.
Does the cock not come out until later? Wait, unironic, like actual. What the f is that guy's appearance? Unironic question with the when do the cock pics come out? Different hearing? No, it's happened twice. The cock thing, it happened again. The D pics were in another hearing about Joe Biden. Oh, she didn't do it twice? Oh, my apologies. I was under the impression I saw people on Twitter talking about her doing it again. Oh, well, that's my fault for being impressionable. Do you think she like would have shown them if he had stayed? Like she had them kept underneath the desk? We had to pause committee because Marjorie Taylor Greene is being unhinged while we wait. Jared Muskowitz is holding this up. That's good. I genuinely, I think that Democrats should just have this up all the time in all government functions. I think that'd be good. Oh, those clips were 2 separate hearings. Well, the Hunter Biden cock pictures. I thought it was from this one. I guess I was wrong in that. That's unfortunate, you know. I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene really could have had Hunter Biden on the ropes if she had deployed that that critical argument at the right time. Okay, well, with that being said, then I suppose what'd she have to say?
Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward. And this is also a coward that sat right here in front of Mickey Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt's mother, who was murdered on January 6th by Michael Byrd, the Capitol police officer. And you want to talk about a committee, a political sham? I'll totally disagree with you, Ms. Mace. That January 6th committee was not bipartisan. It was a complete setup to go after President Trump, go after Republicans, go after anyone that believes in free and fair elections, people that believe the Department of Justice should be fair and balanced, not a political weaponized department of the federal government.
My everyone's favorite Wojak meme. Republicans will defend like gunning down black youth in the streets if they even look remotely scary, but storming the Capitol building and getting shot by a police officer is actually tyranny. Couldn't imagine.
That is targeting President Trump, his supporters, people that walked in the Capitol on January 6th, and now people that stood outside the Capitol. There's been no justice for Ashley.
No, notice, by the way, how she wanted to ask Hunter Biden questions, and now she's just rambling about how January 6th wasn't an insurrection. And, like, keep in mind, this is supposed to be about Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. Nothing here even involves January 6th at all. Like, there's literally no connection. But she gets up here and starts talking about that. That's because well, this is mostly a her thing. Like, she's really made this her brand. But the only thing Republicans believe in is destroying democracy. That's it. All other ideological associations have fallen to the wayside. Their primary goal, the only thing they want, is to destroy American democracy and put you in a death camp. That's it. That's the only thing they care about. And they're making martyrs of the January 6th. Like, you realize the Republican Party has started doing the same thing to the Jan 6 rioters. What, like it's like Reichstag shit, you know? Like, they're doing like actual blood and soil martyrdom about how they call them hostages. They treat Ashley Babbitt like a patron saint. Like, do you need more evidence that they want to do it again? At the last conservative convention, didn't they do that like pantomime where they sang to someone pretending to be in bars? Wasn't that like, hold on, what convention was that at? And it was MTG there, yeah. CPAC, was it CPAC? Oh yeah, there we go.
Hey everybody,
sorry, this is from Midas Touch. I'm getting it secondhand. What's up, dude? Can you back away from the camera just a little bit, please?
It's Isaiah Martin. How do you
pass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil? For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory is yours, now and forever. Jesus, we trust in you. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And
does anyone watching me right now think for even a second that the people in this crowd would not kill you? Like, in a second? Like, they are waiting. Every day they wake up wondering if today is the day. Like, all of them want to see you hanging from a rope. These people are psychopaths and they're in a death cult. And they're represented in government. These people are lunatics.
Now, Prince, a heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits. Release this bondage that's going on in our country and upon Brandon. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Did MTG just go in for a kiss? Are these Catholic? No, they're not Catholic. Protestants don't actually believe in anything. It's sickening. It's a fake religion. I respect Catholicism, Islam, Judaism. I don't respect Protestantism. We need to reunify the church. It's fine. It's time. It's finally time. It's different in Europe. I know it's different in Europe. I know it's different in Europe. I know. All right, hold on. This got linked a few times.
Republicans, but it's out there, and there are millions of people that believe it.
This is
there
a
were three main
subpoena.
that I want to talk about legitimate subpoenas. There were three incredibly embarrassing moments for Republicans, or my top three. Nancy.
This is on Fox News, by the way.
Mace in general, just embarrassing, screaming about white privilege, saying he's afraid of me. He showed up, he's sitting there, swear him in, let him talk. Then people like Scott Perry, Jim Jordan, people who are in the midst of defying subpoenas themselves.
She's their resident liberal. Yeah, the five isn't like a Tucker Carlson bit or whatever. They do their arguments. I'm just meaning like this is what it's being exposed to. I know the others will all like argue about it. By the way, I think Hunter Biden did phenomenally here. He didn't say a single word. He went in there, he sat down, he folded his arms, waited for 20 minutes, and then left. Like, that's it, you know? And that's it. Like, made it incredibly clear that he's willing to talk if they'll just let him. Made it clear the Republicans are the ones who don't want to hear him because they just want to drag it out into like an infinite, you know, talking point. Yeah. Literally the meme. Yeah, shows up, mogs, elaborates on nothing, leaves, you know? It's flawless.
Just sitting there railing about how important it is. And then you said Hunter Biden got bored and he left. He intentionally embarrassed Marjorie Taylor Greene, who held up, again, another poster of his genitals. The woman is...
Wait, did she do it again? Wait! Chat, I saw that she did it again. Wait, were there people in chat, a bunch of people in chat who said she didn't do it again and you were lying? I should go back and ban every one of you. Why would you lie? Why would you just assume that? Why would you just, you would just assume that? I trust you guys. Come on. I hate you. I hate you guys. God damn it, dude. Oh my God. I knew that the place was different. The place she pulled the cock out last time was different. Different seating, different location. You don't remember. I do. Oh my God. Found it? Yeah. The clip we looked at said showing certain pictures of Hunter Biden again, posted yesterday on an account that clips current political stuff. But a bunch of people in chat were so confident, no, actually, that happened before. That I just wanted to see the timeline. So it must have been after Hunter Biden left that Marjorie Taylor Greene presented evidence of his gigantic fat cock, you know? Bro, that's a massive hog. What the It's okay. It's fine. You know, I mean, I've seen bigger, but it's pretty big, you know. It looks okay. You should actually ban people who push bad info. No, I really want to. I get like sympathetic about it or whatever. I think like that, but like you actually shouldn't say that shit unless you know. It actually really bugs me, you know? I used to ban people much more aggressively who would say things that were incorrect. If you don't know, just don't say anything, you know? But everyone has a joke answer now. I ask any question, people are like, oh, I've got a funny joke, you know, 50 jokes. If I'm asking something, I'm doing a segment, man. Like, come on, let's construct the information appropriately here. Let's not bury the lead 6 times. I'm dealing with whether or not chat's live misinforming me, you know? Let it play and just transcript search it. Just use the C-SPAN features, Lamau. Hunter Biden's fat, greasy hog. 37 results. No. In all seriousness, my anger at chat aside, I think this was funny as hell. Like, so funny. It was handled pretty much perfectly by Hunter Biden. I think that the more the GOP hyperfixates on Hunter Biden, the worse it makes them. Seriously, nobody gives a... Republican voter exit polling has consistently indicated that their interests are more towards, well, obvious stuff like immigration, economy, whatever, but they cannot get off the trans stuff, and no one cares about Hunter Biden, but they keep going back in that direction.